This is Solo P1. Welcome to Keep It Sports and welcome to the F1. I can't believe I can't believe it's 100 already. 100 episode already. The F1 Flaming Tarmac 100th episode. And we're here today and we're going to talk about everything regarding Silverstone this weekend, the British Grand Prix. And you know what? I only just found out, I actually thought it was a normal race weekend, but it's not a normal race weekend. It's going to be a sprint weekend, and I did not know that at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in my co-Qs, my partner in crime. He's Mr. Toto Abba. Big up to Toto, man. How you doing, bro?
Big up, big up.
Do you know, Toto, it's a sprint weekend.
Oh, is it? That's good. That's good.
Do you remember the first sprint weekend? What was the best one? Silverstone?
Yeah.
That was the very first sprint weekend. We haven't had one since 2021. The best sprint weekend was Silverstone and Brazil in 2021. Remember the one in Silverstone when the first one was Ernie and he won it, Lewis, and the one that year in Brazil where when Hamilton, when Verstappen forced him off the track.
Yeah.
That was the second sprint weekend. So we're finally back here now. We're back at Silverstone. We're back at the British Grand Prix, and I'm happy about it. I'm just happy that we're back here. So what you saying, man?
I'm happy, man, but it's also a shame because it's not going to be the Silverstone that we love. It's going to be very different. It's going to be very slow. And this is a track.
I'll be back in 1 second, carry on.
This is a track, even if you play a lot of the F1 game, this is a track where you're most of the time crawling, especially through Magnets and Beckett's, because as soon as you reach that maximum power, you're basically crawling on through Magnets and Beckett's just to save battery. You're lifting. You're basically going very slow. Because as soon as you come on that straight, you're gonna have no battery power. And that's the problem with it. You got to be lifting through Magnets and Beckett's to recharge that battery, to get that battery power, that recharge, from going into Stowe. I think Stowe corner. I think it is. So it's going to be very. Again, I think the racing's going to be good. But I mean, when you see them qualifying laps. When you see them do qualifying laps and all that, and when you see them go through, going into Magnets and Beckett's, and then going onto the straight, by the end of the straight, they're going to have zero battery power, And of course, you know how Magnets and Beckett's is fast bend. It's not going to be fast no more because people will be lifting through there to save battery.
Yeah,
that's just the sad reality of it. And this is why I'm not really a big fan of the regulations. I think it gives an entertainment point of view, but like tracks like this, the battery's not good for, because by the end of the straight, Magnets and Beckett's, you are crawling through Magnets and Beckett's. You want to take it flat out, most of it flat out, but you're literally going to be crawling through there. It's going to be really bad.
And Lewis Hamilton was kind of alluding to that. He was talking about, I've just watched the, when they have the Thursday, when I have people and go on the track and meet the fans. This is the only weekend they ever do that in the UK. Where I wish we could see that in more tracks. On the Thursday they got a show outside and we can meet different people and we see the fans. I know they only do that to the British Grand Prix. Obviously, it's a British media, but it'd be good if it could, maybe when we go to Monza or go to. I think they do something like that in Mexico, to be fair, but they should do that at more tracks, innit? But I know what you're saying. Lewis Hamilton was alluding to that in his interview with Sky today. He was saying that it's not. He said he was talking to a lot of other drivers and not just Ferrari. He was talking to a few drivers through Messenger and stuff like that. And I was all like frustrated that this track is such an amazing track. Probably the best track on the grid alongside Suzuka and Spa. And because it's got some power straights, they're not going to be able to enable their power from their car because the time they get to they get to the hanger straight and stuff like that, they won't have no power left. So they have to use the power at the right time, and I think I think it's good. I think it's good because it makes a race more interesting. You know, it makes a race maybe not the fastest car will win here. You know, maybe whether the power, who uses the power more, or how often do you use the power? When do you pull the trigger on the power? Do you save it more than it's gonna throw a wrench into the situation, isn't it? Because obviously, if it wasn't for that, Ferrari would probably win, because I think Ferrari's got the best chassis here. But I ain't got a problem with it. I think a lot of the drivers now they're trying to be clever. They're trying to be clever and saying, "Oh, this ain't gonna happen. You know, I'm not gonna be good here." And then as soon as he gets to the race, boom, then we see a good race. You get me? So I'm gonna hold my judgment. I'm gonna wait until I see sprint qualifying, which is going to be tomorrow, because we know how the sprint weekend is. We only get one practice in the weekend, so we get the practice one on the Friday, and then we get sprint qualifying, and then on Saturday we get the sprint race and qualifying for the race. So we'll see what happens. We'll have a look at it in practice one tomorrow. I'll judge it tomorrow. I'm actually doing the watch along this weekend. I know you're not going to be here. You're going away on holiday. So whoever's watching this, Total Hammer's going on holiday for a few weeks. So I'm going to be holding the fort. But when we do our review videos, he will be on as well. He's going to do it from a location unknown. That's where he's going. A location unknown. Is that where you go, Toto? A location unknown.
Parts unknown.
That's right. Wi-Fi, where you going, bro? Sure you got Wi-Fi, where you going?
I don't know, man. We'll wait and see.
Anyway, okay. So this weekend, we're just going to talk it briefly. You know how it is. This is our 100th episode, by the way. This is our 100th episode of a Flaming Tarmac, 100. And we stopped for a few years doing these. And remember when we were just doing other stuff. I've had fun. We weren't doing Flaming Tarmac, so we could actually be on 200. But anyway, what's your thoughts on this weekend? I'm going to ask you, who's your pick? Because we know we've got qualifying, sprint qualifying, and we've got normal qualifying, we've got the race. Let's start with the sprint qualifying. Who's your pick for the sprint qualifying?
I mean, Lewis has won it 9 times. But I mean, Anselli's also won the last 5 races. And you gotta put that into account as well. You can't just put Lewis up there. He has won it 9 times though. So that's the reason why I put him in the top 3. But I'll have Antonelli getting sprint quali and having Lewis in second and Russell in third for sprint quali.
Okay, what about the sprint race?
I'll go with Antonelli at the top, Russell in second, Lewis in third. For sprint race quali, the actual quali, I'm gonna go with the same because I think them are going to be in the top 3. Because Leclerc's qualifying hasn't been the best, and Red Bull isn't the car that there was. So
WhatsApp's on. Keeps coming through the screen. Go on.
Red Bull isn't the car that there was, so they don't really. I don't think they'll do well. Leclerc has a bad qualifying record so far this season, so again, he could turn that round. You never know. I'm just going through recent performances. I'm going with the same top 3 like I did with sprint quali. In the race, I think Lewis is going to win the race because I think he's got a much better race pace. And then it's going to be Russell second, and then Antonelli second and Russell third.
I think regarding sprint qualifying, I think it's going to be George. I think George will get it. He's got the British crowd behind him. Okay, when you got the British crowd behind you here, it's like what Nigel Mansell always says. It's an extra tenth, gives you that extra speed of being a British driver at Silverstone. And I think because Russell overall has probably got the best car, power wise, at Silverstone at the moment. I think Russell will get pole, because I think that Ferrari are going to build their car for qualifying and race. Not so much the sprint race. They want to go where the points are. You get me? The points. The big points are at the race. And I think that Ferrari will engineer their car, set up their car for the race. So for sprint qualifying, I'm going to go with first George Russell, second Kimi Antonelli, and third Lewis Hamilton. That's the sprint qualifying.
Yeah.
Now the sprint race, I'm going to go with George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Kimi Antonelli. But for the qualifying, normal qualifying, I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton because, like I said before, I think they're going to set up their car for the qualifying, you know, where the points are, the big points. And I think in the race, it's going to be Lewis. Lewis knows how to win here. He's won it 9 times. He won it last season. When he wasn't expected to win it in the Mercedes, when he didn't have the fastest car, but he still won it in Silverstone. He won it. This is his track. This is his home. So I think Lewis Hamilton will win Silverstone, even though there's a lot of other tracks that he's won so many times, like 8, 9 times, like Canada, and I can name 7 tracks off the top of my head that he's won about 7, 8 times. But with Silverstone, he's gonna have that crowd behind him, and it's the extra 10th, and I believe it, and I think he's gonna topple them all in the race, and that's what I think.
Yeah, because I think Lewis on paper the best time management, and I think he's much better in the race. He's more of a, even though he's been doing all right in qualifying, he's been out qualifying Charles Leclerc. Mm-hmm. Usually it's Leclerc qualifying him, but he's the other way around. Leclerc hasn't really had the best of seasons. He's lost a lot of points. He hasn't had the best of qualifying. Lewis has actually turned it around and become a better qualifier now. But still, his race pace is still up there, and they've got the best time management and stuff like that. So I'm probably it's going to be, I don't know the temperature. I say it's going to be quite hot. It's normal temperature. So maybe that could be a factor. But still, every time Lewis is here, he has a good race, even though, like he said it with the Mercedes, that the Mercedes, he was literally the worst Mercedes. He still end up getting the podium. So
I wouldn't say it was the worst. I think last year's Mercedes wasn't that bad, really. It wasn't as bad as the ones in previous years at the beginning of the regulations, but that car still shouldn't have won the race.
Yeah.
But Lewis won it. This is what I'm saying when it comes to the racing. That's why I know you went for Lewis as well. We've got some more news coming through, just coming in. Jeremy Clarkson recently had a cancer. He's fighting it. Big up to Jeremy Clarkson. Some news coming today about Jeremy Clarkson. It said, I'll bring this round here. It says Jeremy Clarkson, the TV personality Jeremy Clarkson has signed a deal with an F1 team ahead of this week's British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Former Top Gear presenter Jeremy Clarkson is well known to be an F1 fan and regularly seen on the Grand Prix weekends. He's recently hinted after the Barcelona Grand Prix that he would love his Hawkstone alcohol brand to be a sponsor of an F1 team, just like Ferrari's partnership with Peroni, Nazzaro, Zaro, with no alcohol. So, while that is still yet to happen, Clarkson has announced a special partnership for this weekend's British Grand Prix with Enstone-based outfit Alpine. So he's going to be representing Alpine over the weekend, but he said he's also got a brand of drink that he's going to be signing up with, so it's going to be a partnership probably with Alpine. Alpine's F1 base Oxfordshire lies just 6 miles from Clarkson's farm. The site of Clarkson's farm program and Diddley Squat Farm. I like that name, Diddley Squat. That's old school. That is Diddley Squat. That means that there's nothing there. That's basically SHIT. So if someone says, what have you got there? I say, I ain't got Diddley Squat. Instead of saying SHIT. So Diddley Squat Farm, the world's famous shop on the farm, will provide a range of locally sourced food, produce, and beverages over the weekend of Silverstone to attempt to keep the team and its drivers well fed and hydrated over this weekend. So the team's French Argentina drivers, Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto, will eat some authentic British dishes. There's so many nice British dishes. This is what I hate sometimes with certain people, uneducated, don't know nothing about the British culture, and they turn around and say, all you eat is fish and chips and beans and toast. No. If I do, watch this show over the weekend. Silverstone, this program, you'll see how nice British food is. Just relax, people. This team's out, anyway, so he's going to be there over the weekend, and Jeremy Clarkson, what you think it is? I'm glad that he's there. I'm glad that he's well as well. He's a controversial character. I like him. And I think he's a straight shooter, and I think he's going to be good for him. Because you remember Top Gear, This guy's a national treasure. You get me?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on this? About he's going to get involved in F1
Wait,
team?
I mean, good for him. Good for him. You know, get his
Proper
sponsor.
wholesome food as well.
Get his sponsor out there. His alcohol, his drink sponsor, which is good.
Yeah. And he's cooking, and he's gonna have food for the team for over the weekend. Fresh farm food,
Yeah.
hot food and stuff.
That's good, man. That's good. It's good for him. Good for providing as well. You know, giving. Which is good. You know, he's doing well for himself.
So on.
And I'm glad also he's fighting the cancer as well.
Yeah. Big up to him.
Because he had his diagnosis and he can fight it. So again, Jeremy Clarkson's a legend. I like him. I liked him since the Top Gear days. So he's been around for ages, man. He's a legend.
Yeah. Remember that famous interview he done with Schumacher? That one who didn't know what it was. He was Schumacher had the helmet. And what was it again? Who was the guy who used to have all the white helmet? You didn't know who he was. He used to drive
the Stig.
Yeah, remember the Stig? And he sat there and goes, "Who's under the Stig?" And he sat there. Schumacher. I saw that on YouTube. That was crazy. So anyway, that's the end of it. That's the British Grand Prix. I didn't want it to drag it on, guys, for you to go, come on, get on with it. But my prediction for the weekend, we've already done it. This is a 100th episode, and it's at Silverstone. So how perfect that is, isn't it? A 100th episode. We've timed it perfect. Our 100th episode of the F1 Flaming Tarmac, and it's Silverstone. Perfect. So, come on, guys. I'll put on the thumbnail. Actually, on the thumbnail, will we get an all British podium? I hope. That's all I want. I want an all British podium. Don't care. I don't care what order it is. Don't care what order it is. I want three Brits on that podium. Imagine that at Silverstone, 3 British podiums.
Yeah.
3 British flags. That is just great. Unite the country, just like the boys did it yesterday. Come on, England. Anyway, we'll see. Harry Kane. Anyway, guys, you got anything to say before we head off?
No, nothing else. No.
Harry Kane is lethal. Anyway, see you later, guys. Big up to F1, and all the F1 drivers are bigging them up as well. Lewis Hamilton was winding up 9 shift because Belgium went out yesterday, and he was winding them up. Yeah. Big up to you, Davenport. We're heading off now anyway. Big up to Davenport. We're heading off to finish the show. See you later, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Toto's going on holiday, by the way, for a couple of weeks, so it's gonna be, but he's still gonna be on the videos, some videos from time to time. But he's going on holiday, so big up to him and big up to you as well. See you later, guys. Bye.
See you later.
See you later, Toto.